That was great music. Thanks, Aaron. Well, welcome to the final session of our conference. The best of South Carolina early stage founders strut their stuff. And I'm really excited to introduce you to 6 great startups that are advancing life science technologies here in South Carolina. My name is Troy Huth. I'm the Deputy Director of MUSC's Foundation for Research Development. So at FRD, we engage MUSC faculty, clinicians, staff, and students and help support the advancement of their great innovations. As part of supporting these innovations, we aid spin-outs in development and commercialization of their technologies and connect them into great resources in the community. I'm also here today with my colleague, Kaitlyn Crobar. Kaitlyn?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kaitlyn Crobar, the Technology Transfer Associate at MUSC's Foundation for Research Development. We're excited to bring you guys today's pitches, and we'll be introducing select early-stage companies from across the state to be judged by our esteemed panel. On our panel, we have Steve Johnson, an investment manager with SCRA, Tyler Tatum, senior consultant of Three-Phase SC, Eric Tomey, marketing director of Venture South Charleston, and Herbert Drayton, managing partner of Highmark Capital.
Thank you, Kaitlyn. Each exciting company will have 8 to 10 minutes to present and then 5 minutes for question and answer. The companies represent a spectrum of life science technologies, from therapeutics to medical devices to health information technologies. And I'm proud to say that 4 of the 6 companies are affiliated with MUSC. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce the first company presenting, Dr. Kristen Quinn, the CEO of Heartbeat Technologies.
Thank you, Troy and Kaitlyn. And thank you, SCbio, for hosting this conference for us. And we're very excited for the opportunity to present today and tell you about Heartbeat Technologies. Like he said, we're Heartbeat Technologies. My name is Dr. Kristen Quinn, and I am the co-inventor, CEO, and co-founder of Heartbeat Technologies, where we are improving CPR care. Which way do I point the clicker? Thanks. So when a patient experiences cardiac arrest, they fall to the ground, they're pulseless, chest compressions are begun. But when they receive chest compressions, they're circulating only a small amount of blood volume to the heart and brain. And every second that these organs are without blood leads to increased injury, permanent damage, and even death. In fact, 500,000 Americans experience cardiac arrest each year, and these events are 90% fatal. Cardiac arrest is a public health crisis. So we at Heartbeat Technologies wanted to improve these outcomes. CPR needs to work better. My goodness. So we invented the Saver. The Saver blocks blood from being lost in the legs and instead shunts it back to the heart and brain, where it's critically needed during these cardiac arrest events. Further, the Saver tells you whether your compressions are generating enough pressure. Too often, I witnessed even seasoned health professionals not pushing deep or fast enough to circulate blood. Sure, yeah. Should I point somewhere else? Okay, it's not working. Okay, next slide. So the Saver has been thoughtfully designed to be used in these emergency situations. Flexible straps are slid under the patient's legs while chest compressions are ongoing. Focal pressure is then applied by way of pneumatic bulbs, which are deployed instantly when the Saver is activated. Next slide. And the Saver works. We've collected data in our pig model and demonstrated a mean 12.6% increase in blood pressure. This means that the heart and brain are seeing more blood flow for longer. Next slide. The Saver improves CPR performance and confidence for medical personnel, emergency servicemen and women, and civilians alike. It increases blood pressure, it keeps time and displays pressure information, ensuring timely and quality compressions, and the Saver works in addition to the current standard of care of chest compressions. It does not compete or replace this therapy. Next slide. The Saver is a patented technology filed by MUSC for which we have an exclusive license to develop. Our regulatory consultant has confirmed the Saver to be a Class 1 510(k) exempt device, and we anticipate filing with the FDA in the next 6 months. Next. What's unique about the Saver is, for one, it's the first device to the CPR market. It offers rapid deployment, it's portable, senses pressure and the quality of compressions, and it gives the rescuer confidence in their efforts. It's easy and intuitive to use for all persons. Next. Anyone at any place can experience a heart attack, so we estimate our total available U.S. market to be around $103 billion. The Saver should be found in all healthcare facilities, carried by EMS, be in drugstores, government and public offices, businesses, airports, and airplanes. Our serviceable available market focuses on the community medical facilities and is estimated about $4.5 billion, and our serviceable obtainable market is estimated at $182 million. Next. So the Saver will first hit shelves of the academic research centers, where they'll be part of national clinical trials. Ambulances and fire stations will carry the Saver out into the community, where it will be used in field cardiac arrests. Next. Community hospitals, urgent cares, drugstores, and nursing homes and rehab centers will purchase Savers for their patients. Next. And finally, there should be a Saver in every school, business, and airport, anywhere you would find an AED. Next. So founded just over a year ago, about 13 months ago, we have secured multiple non-dilutive funding opportunities, participated in the Accelerate Health and VentureWell Accelerator programs. We recently became an SCRA member company, and we're currently engaging in prototyping in parallel with our large animal model and beginning a clinical trial tomorrow. Next steps include filing our FDA regulatory registration as a Class 1 510(k) exempt device. And next, by next fall, we anticipate starting our clinical patient trials. And next, with data showing the efficacy of our device and the provider endorsements, MUSC and Charleston County EMS will be our first customers. Their insights have truly shaped our device since its inception. Next. And by winter 2023, we plan to scale manufacturing and distribution by partnering with current AED companies. Next. Partnering with AED manufacturers and distributors like Philips or Zoll will help the Saver be sold across the country. Because the Saver does not require formal training to use, it can be stocked and bundled with the current AEDs. With clinical trials showing efficacy and giving providers confidence in their compressions, we will work with the American Heart Association to make the Saver the standard of care for all patients experiencing cardiac arrest. When the Saver is standard of care, all hospitals across the country will use this device. Annual life support training will include the use of the Saver in the cardiac arrest algorithm. Next. The Saver is a single-use disposable device and costs about $700 per unit. We anticipate selling about 300,000 units in year 5 and generating $206 million in revenue in year 5. Here we've plotted our company's projected financials with a profit margin of 86%. Next. So Heartbeat is a driven and diverse team impassioned to bring this innovation to patient care. Our lean executive committee has years of direct patient contact, research expertise, design, and entrepreneurial experience. Next. And behind us are all these wonderful advisors, partners, and purchasers. Next. So together, let's improve CPR and save lives. Next. Thank you so much for your time and bearing with us on the technical difficulties, and I'm really happy to take any questions.
Kristen, what role of training do you see to get this adopted, because this could be with the Red Cross, could be with the EMS, could be with a hospital. How do you see training them to use this? Because it's not standard procedure now.
Great question. So a lot of devices in the emergency medical sphere, even if you are trained, high adrenaline, high stress, they have the directions right on the label, and that's how the saver will be. You can peel pack, and it has instructions right there for you, so you won't be required to have any training before use. If you are going to become CPR certified, it will be taught during that course, which is usually biannually.
Christian, my question, would this be used by military as well?
Yes, absolutely. I think that has huge implications in the military market. I didn't even include that in our estimated market here today. That's an avenue that we're hoping to look more into.
And do the tourniquets have to be used in tandem, or you can use one? I'm thinking if you've got an extremity injury.
Absolutely.
How would it work?
Yeah, they can be detached and separated. It's kind of a modular design that will allow the use of both or even one.
So it can be used as a single tourniquet item as well?
Correct, yes. So we actually talked to someone who was prior in the military and talked to him. You know, we've been doing a lot of interviewing about what should be the sizes and considerations of where this would be stocked so that it gets adopted by these future users. And he talked about having to have, instead of 2 tourniquets in his bag, he could have 1 saver, and it could do the job of 2 tourniquets.
And the final question, you said that the cost would be $700. What does it cost to produce, and who would be making the items, the tourniquets for you?
Right, so we want to partner with a AED manufacturer and distributor because they do both, and they already have established relationships with these consumers. We're still working on iterating our prototype, but early estimates of what it will cost have allowed us to price it at the $700 range. That's lower than our competitors would be. So femostop, clampies, other vessel occlusion devices that haven't been marketed or targeted towards the cardiac arrest patient are about $1,000 per unit.
You shared the scary statistics of the 90% fatality rate.
Yeah.
What sort of improvement do you see or would you expect?
That's a great question, and that's really the foundation of our research efforts. So currently we're using surrogate markers like increases in blood pressure. Our next step in our research efforts are actually injecting a fluorescent microsphere to detect perfusion of the heart and brain during this time, and we'll use our pig animal model to then translate those clinical effects into survival data for humans.
What do you feel like your biggest risk in getting to market is at this point, and how do you plan to overcome that?
Yeah, great. I think the biggest risk is currently we're not doing anything to the legs. So it is a little bit of a change to get people to, do something in addition to the current standard of care. But I believe that we'll be able to overcome that because outcomes are so devastating. People are motivated to do something else and something new to help these patients, and making it a low burden of trainability, easy tech, intuitive to use, I think will help us still penetrate the market.
One final question. Where's the readout?
Right. So several different iterations. In the hospital, we would love it to be an actual pressure that can help physicians in decision-making. For the community, it will likely be a light or sound that makes it easy to tell whether you're providing adequate compressions or not.